And we're live.
All right. So I guess I don't know how formal we have to be, but Dwayne, if you wanna, do you want me to like intro? Well, just welcome everyone back for our kind of final part of the hackathon, which is the presentations. People have submitted 5 projects today. Excited to learn more about them in these presentations. I think the format we have is 10-minute presentation and then 5-minute Q&A. Unless, is that kind of what everyone's preparing? Is that fine? And it's pretty, I think as long as we kind of have everyone doing this the same time frame, we will be able to accommodate. So I think 10 minutes seems like it's good. And 5-minute Q&A just to give feedback and answer any questions. And that'll be 5 projects, 75 minutes. So about an hour and a half is what we're looking at, an hour 15. But I think Max has a list of all the projects, and we could really either go randomly or people can volunteer if people have some maybe other things they need to do. Maybe they want to present early. So I don't know. We can either do it randomly, flip a coin, or anybody who wants to volunteer to go first. I'm sure I don't think anyone will object. But so does anyone want to go first with the presentations? We'll have these recorded. This is live streaming, so it'll be recorded. And then Max will probably allow you to share your screen. Let me go ahead and Max has a Google spreadsheet here. Let me take a look at it. So, all right. So we have Max, Lucas has 2 projects, John, and Jeff. So those are the 5 projects we have. And does anyone want to volunteer to go first? No volunteers. So we could go in the order of how it's submitted. I mean, that's one way to do it. So since Max, you're first on this Google sheet, we could just go by that if there's no one has any objections. Then I think it's Max and Dwayne. You're both working on this project here?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys can go ahead and you guys have all, the screen sharing, and who should I pin here? I think like, is Max, should I pin? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can present, and then yeah, Dwayne can fill in like where this could go and like other stuff on it as well. So yeah, here, let me show the screen. It's a really quick presentation, a simple idea. I brought it up earlier in the DACathon. So let me see if I can share this. Awesome. Can you guys hear me all right and everything?
Yep.
Can you see the presentation?
Yep.
Awesome. So yeah, so our project is called BURNMINER, and it's pretty quite simple on the mechanics side of things. Basically, this is a tool that'll allow you to earn tokens while you burn NFTs. And I think for like average users, this doesn't make sense because not average people are using NFTs yet. So it's for a very specific audience, people that are using non-fungible tokens. So yeah, BURNMINER is a token reward system that's offered to individuals for destroying their community's unique game assets. We extended the mechanics of games and these collectibles to offer rewards for meta participation. And there's a ton of new games that use, they're enhanced with these NFTs and non-fungible tokens as a way to offer unique value proposition for in-game engagement. Communities can buy, sell, and trade these on various third-party platforms. And I'm gonna just jump into the interface to keep this extremely simple. So there's a welcome page where you pay a pretty significant fee to participate in this, but in return, it allows you to mine these tokens as you're burning these in game. So with Alien Worlds, there's a way, or on both of these supported communities, there's a way to when you combine NFTs to get a better asset, you're burning them and destroying them. And so on this back end, if you were to sign up for this, you would also be earning this token. So there's a daily pool of tokens that are distributed to the people that are mining the most of this token. And really importantly, because it's kind of confusing how this works, there's this FAQ. And so if you play Alien Worlds or Blockchain Heroes, you'll be able to burn, use the burn function, you'll be able to earn this token. And it's simple instructions: deposit 10,000 wax, we'll watch your account and pay out your share from the community pools. And a unique feature of this is that when you stake this token, you can earn wax from the pool. And so there's the communities we're going to launch with in alpha would just be Alien Worlds and Blockchain Heroes. But we have a link to people can list their own community, and we're thinking that might be a fee in wax, and maybe a community token or some agreement we can come to. But just keeping this really really insulated at first is a good idea. See if the communities can accept it. And yeah, with the token distribution, we're gonna put a cap on 1 million tokens, and then up to 500 per community per day, proportionate to the number of NFTs burned in that community. We may lower that number if more communities come on board, so that the earlier communities that are participating will still have more tokens. And then the stake refers to your share of wax from the membership fee in the pool. So as more people come in, you'll split this daily 2% payout to these BURNMINER token holders. And yeah, this is really, really simple and straightforward as well. It shows the daily leaderboard payout. So we have different leaderboards, and I think that's what, like, for successful engagement is required. So we go down the list, and these are the people that have earned tokens, and then you can see a list of people that have burnt NFTs, and it should match up to some degree with the earnings of the BMT token. And then you can see a list based on staking earnings or rewards for staking. And I think you know, going forward in the future, we can talk about what other engagement activities could come out of these leaderboards, and I think that's pretty fun. Here's a really simple view. If you play the EOS gambling games, you can see very similar interfaces. And so I'm not trying to be too creative with how staking works. And but essentially, it shows you at the top the daily pool rate at 2%. And that might change if, you know, we can make that flexible, or depending on the level of engagement, the percentage goes up per day. And then you see daily pool payout. So the total amount, that 2%, that'll be distributed to the staked BMT holders. There's a simple interface, shows how much BMT you can stake, how much you have staked, and there's a little prediction about daily expected earnings. So this person will be getting 50 wax, which is a quarter of the pool. And then it'll also share with you the historical earnings. Yeah, and pretty simply, why BURNMINER? You'll be able to earn supplemental tokens as a byproduct for playing a game. And yeah, you see a lot of third-party games engagement can help support this NFT ecosystem. And yeah, I think to some degree it'll also create healthy competitive interactions between these communities. So yeah, if you are interested in contributing to this, contact me or Dwayne, and send a wax contribution to this address, and we'll save that for development of this project. Yeah, let us know if you have any questions. Yeah, Dwayne, do you want to add anything about the direction of a project like this could go?
Yeah, seeing if we have engagement with this first contract. We see people loving engagement with games. So if it expands, we could have different little micro games where you're using 2 different cards to fight, or a card game. So instead of just pulling a contract, looking to see if someone's burnt a card and rewarding them, we could drive maybe more engagement with other games. So like you can have an asset, say, from Alien Worlds, and an asset from Blockchain Heroes, and bet. So yeah, so there's a lot of yeah, I like that it's a nice, simple first use case. There's already engagement in these communities, and I could see as it evolves, the reason for a DAC is that maybe this could be just one module, the burn module. Maybe as a DAC, you can decide to burn, and maybe the second step would be, or send it to the community. So yeah, a really cool first step to gauge engagement.
Yeah, that's all we got. You guys got any questions?
Any questions from anybody?
I have a question. This is a project that you're going to build, or right now just an idea that is in what stage is?
Totally an idea. I mean, yeah, we came up with it during the hackathon, and yeah, I think we're going to build it, like 90% sure. Yes, we'll build it. So it's just an idea for now.
Great, thank you.
Is there, what incentives do you think there are for people to want to burn it? It's, and what, because I'm thinking NFT, some people, a lot of them are hoping that they are, rare and collectible in the future. And then they have an option though to burn it. Is it, maybe just another way of getting value out of it, or instead of selling it, I guess, on the market for someone else who wants to buy it? Like, how do you see that?
There's incentives to burn some of them. It seems like it's a pattern across all these. And so you might have, like, you burn 10 of the same card to get like one better card. And so it's a way to, to reduce the supply of, well, the game makers use this concept to reduce the supply of the really popular cards, or the ones that there's a large quantity of. So it's used to it's used already in these games, and we'll see more of that in others too. It's not something you can do with, like, Magic the Gathering cards. You can't just like rip them in half and mint a new one, but you can do that with these blockchain games. So yeah, I can't remember what that's called in the game. They use different terms for that burning process.
Okay, I got you. So and then the other thing is, are there, like, so there's just a daily reward amount. Will there be, people are burning different NFTs, but then it kind of, they'll get the same amount based on the daily reward, right? So is there going to be some sort of, like, how are people going to maybe gauge the different values that they're burning, relative to each other? Or is it just kind of, is there something?
So we'll have a daily pool for each of those contracts. We're watching those contracts and those users that signed up. And so they're, let's say Dwayne burns 5 cards, but you burn 10, then you would get twice as much of the pool rewards in that token. So so we're incentivizing whoever's burning the most on those contracts. Also, I'd say is the most active in the game, because they're actually engaging, trying to level up and have higher engagement. So indirectly, this is a way to kind of track engagement in those games. So it's a leaderboard, like a third-party leaderboard for these games as well.
Gotcha. Yes. Yeah. All right. So it doesn't really matter what card. It's just the amount of cards for now, right? That determine the activity. Okay. All right. Any other questions, guys? All right. So awesome. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I really look forward to seeing kind of, this seems like in the NFT world, something that's been done. So, and just another kind of alternative way of trying to increase that engagement in the NFT world. Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see like, the kind of the activity of burns and like for like the variety of reasons people will do that, just to get their card maybe more scarce, I guess. And then, uh, and then you kind of have a dual benefit of getting coins as well from BMT or getting BMT tokens. So, let me also get a timer here real quick so that we're just kind of, I forgot to get my timer here, but other than that, who wants to go next? I think we just go on the with a Google Doc. So right now we got the next one is Lucas. You could do your two projects since you're listed next, and so it's
Right.
10 minutes each and then 5 minutes each for Q&A. Let me get my timer just here real quick so we have a little bit more of a like form. We just can keep track of time. So it'll be a second, but just I'll be back in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, oops. All right, Lucas, let me, all right, cool. So, and I'll let you know when there's just like a minute left, and then we can go from there. So, all right, you could go ahead and get started, Lucas. Or just let me know when you want to get started. And
Thank you. I'm ready.
Okay, cool.
Hello, afternoon. Factoring DeFi over supply chain. This is an idea that is, by talking with friends, could become a very soon project, because this fixes a problem that I think is already solved. But it just happened, and by asking people, it happened, and the second thing that I believe that is already solved, the supply chain traceability, is not solved. So it's becoming a project of itself very soon. So the factoring is services that already established institutions give to traders, mostly import and export traders, to void their invoices. Basically, they make a discount on these invoices. So, by example, I sell $10,000 of pineapple. I can take, and usually these invoices have a 30-day or 90-day plus 2% to the importer in the other country. I can take this invoice and go to a financial institution and ask them to allow me to access cash flow from that invoice that is due. And in that case, I just basically give to them the invoice for them to charge the invoice to the final customer. It's also the crowd factoring. Is the same solution, but it's already in place, but it's also done only by very high investors or high-level investors. So it's the same concept. A business sells his accounts or his invoices to a multiple individual investors through a financial institution, usually. So the institution have a list of holding invoices, then clients of them wants to sell, and investors come, look these invoices, and they pick invoices and make like a package every month, and they know that they have a return over these invoices. in a very short term. We're talking about 30 to 90 days. So this is the traditional factoring process that is already in place. By example, exporter send the goods to an importer. The importer agreed to pay this invoice in a time frame, and the financier give the exporter a portion of that invoice to have a better cash flow for buy more raw materials or work better. And usually these invoices have a credit issuer over them. Then if something happened because the final customer doesn't pay, the issuer come and take care of the bill. So the problem that we found, that I believe that is already solved, but it happened that not, is the traceability. In countries like the one I am, Costa Rica, we don't have very good systems for the traceability of the goods. So we're thinking that maybe using the blockchain, we can help to increase this transparency that is required for the goods. A very good example of a good that is right now on high demand, and then the people will love also to have very better traceability, is the organic goods. So usually you go to a grocery, you buy something organic, you read and have label organic, but we don't have good laws here than have like a government institution or somebody that come and says, yeah, this is organic, and they're playing with the people sometimes. I don't know if that happens in other countries, but it's happening here. So we can make a tokenization of the goods, so the supplier can create these goods, and we can later in the traceability know from where they come really the goods. The producers turn these goods into something output. Usually they pack, we're going to talking about lettuce, by example. They pack the lettuce and they make a logistic to sell the lettuce. They have a time frame before they expire. All this information can be very easy pinpointing a blockchain. So the existing blockchain could help to solve a problem that is already there. And then why blockchain factoring? Because it also offers more transparency. It offers less risk. It allows, by example, a group of investors come and see all the transactions, how it happened, when it happened, and if it's a good tokenization of the goods and the invoices is there, somebody can come and make assessment or matrix of risk of how much risk he's taking by investing in these clients or these goods on this DAC. Where I'm talking like make a group of friends, start to make their blockchain, start to put their goods, their invoices, and later, by using another smart contract in this DAC, can allow external investors to come and invest into these projects. A traditional blockchain factoring investor can earn a 50 to 20% return on their money per year. That will be something that allow people to not only keep their tokens there like a place to store value, they can help other people to using these tokens by giving them a cash flow to produce more. The blockchain factoring can make the factoring process simple because an investor can come and check all the invoices or the accountings that is happening with that good and can make a more expert decision based on real information that is there. And we can take out a lot of middlemen that is required right now. That's why it's making the process simpler. We can remove the banks, factoring institutions, credit issuers, attorneys, and do all that with just 3 persons or 3 individuals that can take the decision, the seller, the buyer, and the investors, all in the same entity. Right now, in the traditional factoring, if I sell to another country, just that is 2 banks involved. And if I want to do a factoring, it's going to be 2 more institutions involved and 2 more attorneys. When you see this process, it just become a 10, 12 persons or institution involved in the traditional way. In the blockchain could be simpler with only 3 individuals or 3 entities making agreement. A crowd factoring on blockchain is also allow a DAC to issue a factoring smart contract and allow members to provide the sellers with this working capital with a small amounts. So if it's a $10,000 bill, it's not required that only one person's come and help with the 10,000. Could be a crowd, then put each one $100 up to get to the point that is the discount of the invoice. That remove the middleman and create well for everybody. That's the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Hey, Gino, I think you're muted.
Hey, thanks, Lucas. Yeah, so does anyone have any questions? Yeah, a lot of interesting things that I learned about factoring. So any questions? Anybody? So I had maybe a couple questions if no one else has questions. So what are the challenges, the biggest challenges for making certain that there's no funny business going on in factoring? I think you mentioned traceability. How does that work? I'm kind of curious right now to make sure that there are receivables, that that this whole thing is at least legitimate first off, and then what kind of like resources are needed to get that information onto the blockchain? Because it seems as though you might need some physical checks of inventory and things like that and people to get that information onto the blockchain. That's always like whenever I see traceability in any kind of supply chain, the big I think I guess challenge is to get information onto the blockchain from the real world, whether it's through some sort of certifiers or any employees that need to kind of put information onto blockchain and make sure that they're putting good information on the blockchain. So anyways,
I'm agree with you. And the first thing, I can talk about the experience and the knowledge that I have from my country to United States, by example. I can talk to you then, usually we're talking about established corporations, so they have an ID, a corporation ID, that can be verified on public databases from the government. So it could be put that information in the blockchain. It's just a note. It could be also upload the image of the public records that the government issued to this corporation, where is the name of the owner. It could be also, and that information is already public on the export-import databases. So it's not something that the people keep right now private. It's already public. And when you make an exportation, we have a tracing number here that is for the export invoice that we call DUA. Basically, you can take this number and search on the local IRS database that could be also put by the exporter for an investor to look and say, oh yeah, this guy is exporting 1 container of 10 tons of pineapple. Is there. So it's public records of the information that is just because you are not in the business, you don't know where to look. But when you are in the business, like this is a specific example of export-import, the people can tell you where to look, where are the invoices, where is hold these public records, then allow to somebody come and says, okay, that's the first time that I see this information, but now I can make a more accurate decision, then I can see the invoices that are in the government, then is something really being exported by a freight corporation like Merck's or whatever these big shipping companies. So you can trace that the goods are real. Plus, then we're talking about the tokenization. That means that these goods could have another link in the blockchain when they say, okay, this pineapple were seeds in these dates and have been taken from the earth in this date and have been go to the production plant in this date. All that information add up will make this traceability more credible, because of course anybody can come and make up all this information. But when you are going to export, you are paying to the government for that exportation, so there's already money involved there. And you have the name of the final customer. That is usually a big grocery corporation or established import corporation, let's say Walmart or any supermarket, Costco, and they're going to give this exporter the invoice. So you're going to see a real invoice from a corporation that is maybe in United States, Canada, and you can trace that back. And you can have, and you are going to establish agreement between them to void this invoice with a discount. So it's still three big entities involved. We're making this for maybe not Costco or Walmart, for more smaller bodegas or kind of importers, but there are also ones to invite other people to invest. And right now is not good options for investment, because the investment right now is starting $100,000. So it's a very high label barrier right there, where we can, like small investors come, a group of people, and says, yeah, we want to start to invest in this because we can get a very good return of investment. And maybe we don't have to put 100% of the factoring, but we can start to build something. We can just put a 10% on blockchain, and some already established institution put the other 70%, and we can start to shift and have a mix between traditional institutions and blockchain crowdfunding to do this. That's how I see it, actually. I see it as a mix in the future. I'm not seeing a fully, totally blockchain just working to do the factory. I'm seeing more like a mix.
Okay. Yeah, fantastic. So really, yeah, great job there. So since you also have the next project, so you can feel free whenever you want to.
I said it.
Oh, and Dwayne has another question.
I can maybe leave the question and just yeah, maybe my question is locally, between that farmer and that, say, organic production, and the person that's putting those in a container for export, is the farmer represented? Is there many cooperatives in Costa Rica?
They're both kind of. You have individuals that is just have their farm and they're just selling out directly, and you have kind of cooperative corporation that we have here that have a lot of tax exempt. So a lot of people used to get into these co-op corporations because you get a lot of benefits from that from the government. You have tax exempt, you have a lot of help from the government to export. So it's different kind of corporations, but at the end of the day, you can certify that they exist and then they're doing what they're following you to. They're exporting, by example, in this case, goods.
Right. I have a lot of experience in this. We had a farmers co-op, and the factoring that we were looking at was that we had longer season crops, and it was simple ingredients, but you had to do simple processes in between exporting, cleaning, sorting, just primary things. It would still be a single ingredient. And you're exactly right. The amount of people between us and the client, we took out all the middlemen. So it was directly to, say, Nature's Path or Dr. Bronner's soaps, or privately held companies that wanted traceability. And even in that mix, we were talking about a 9-month period of growing and then a 90-day receivable to the client. It's remarkable that the farmer, the processor in the middle, and the buyer, every single entity was going to the bank. So that compounding interest that we were all paying just that no one had the cash flow, this could really solve and be a nice indicator to markets as well, if you were able to funnel that down to the producer and kind of fill the gap, right? So if you had microfinancing and this was an auditable system, yeah, there's more people down chain that need a little bit of, farmers are bearing the brunt of floating the whole system. So, releasing cash flow to them through a cooperative model, it has a lot of uses.
Yeah, I have a lot of uses, but the still thing that has to be a mix, mostly because of the government is not going to, let's say, a useful example that happened in Central America and just happened a couple months ago. We have two hurricanes. When you go to the government to ask for money because you lost all your crops for a flood or a natural disaster, usually the government is going to give grants or money that you don't have to pay back to a government. But you have to come with something more realistic, and you have to say, yeah, we have these crops that we're growing for these clients, but they usually is going to ask you for something that they can verify, and usually that's money that financial institutions give to you for do that. So you need like proof that you take some money. How much money do you take, or how much investment are you doing? And that's the more hard part for this kind of investment, because the people is not going to see in the future, because it happens every 2 years. Every 3 years we have a flood, and every 3 years the government has to help farmers. So this is a cycle that is already happening. The people know about this, but when you put something like blockchain and the government do not see the blockchain has something good, or they do not understand at all, they're not going to allow or validate this information just as is. So that's the biggest challenge that I see, because the people is going to see the potential. The people can come and says, oh yeah, I see the potential, I see the traceability, the producers say, great, I can get the crowd factoring. But when it's a problem and it's not the insurer or if the government do not want to help because it wasn't by the traditional ways, then is when the people is going to start to do not see the value of this. And I believe that we have to add to this that the government need to be involved, or the government need to be certified that this could be happening. If not, the people is not going to do it. So that's the biggest challenge that I saw.
All right, yeah, thanks for the insights, Dwayne and Lucas, for all your insights about this space, which is very fascinating. So, all right, so feel free to present your next project. Maybe people can stretch a little bit, and we could go on to the next project, and just let me know when you want to start, and then I'll start the timer.
They have a little video. I hope everybody can hear it. I'm ready.
Okay. Okay. Feel free to start.
Thank you. The next project is Crypto Speakers. It's an open source program to enable people to connect to do this peer using video chat to learn others' language and gain rewards in crypto. So the language problem, the crypto speakers can solve.
All right, guys, so now that we've come up with verbs, let's find a way to contextualize them within time. All right, we're going to call this conjugating. All right, English, how about you start with the verb do? Yeah, how about do, doing, done, did? Perfect, yeah. Makes so much more sense. All right, French, how about you? Yes, okay, so the verb faire, yes, contextualized in time. Okay, easy. So faire, obviously. Right. Fait with an S, fait with a T, faisons, faites, font, et fait, a fait with an S, a fait with no S, avons fait, avait fait, on fait, faisait, faisons, faisions, faisait, ferait, fera, feront, ferions, feriez, va faire, no S, allons faire, allez faire, vont faire. Yes? All right, I'm going to need you to repeat that for me one more time, please. All right, guys, so now that we've come up with...
All right, learning new language, this story. Maria is from Costa Rica, knows Spanish and English, but she wants to learn Portuguese. She has usually a busy schedule and want to learn by talking with Portuguese native speakers. So she don't know any Portuguese native speakers, and most native speakers would only prefer to talk with her in Spanish or English because they don't want to spend the time teaching somebody. So the problem is native speakers are hard to find. Native speakers lack the motivation to help others with their languages, and usually traditional methods require memorizing language structure and word lists, and that is ineffective and difficult. So our solution is creating then learning a language have to be easy. So it's an open source activity program that give any DAC a startup guide to incentivize their members to help others to learn a new language using a crypto reward system. So the startup guide provides an open source conversation guide with short sentences and a survey template to identify the languages and the members that want to learn what they want to learn and what time they have available and the desired platform that they want. And the crypto speakers get a reward in this case. So this is an example of short starter sentence that we have between English and Spanish with their Spanish pronunciation, how we say it in Spanish. This is using the Spanish sounds or pronunciation that help a Spanish learner learn more fast. And by using short sentence, it makes it more easy to learn because it's like when we learn when we are kids. So the example is in this proposal that group can specify a worker proposal and a learner can come and pay 2.2 EOS per conversation hour. So the crypto speaker receives 2 EOS per hour. The crypto speaker is a native speaker that is going to help the learner to learn this new language. So then after that, they're going to make an appointment, an hour appointment weekly to have these video chat appointments. The learner in that moment is going to send 2.2 EOS to the DAC pool when the appointment is set. After the session ends, the DAC sends 2 EOS to the crypto speaker. The remaining EOS could become a pool for subsidizing members that cannot afford the program. This allows the DAC to create more engagement, to allow people to have better community, and the problem is solved. So thank you special to Jose, Andres, Max, June, Dwayne, and Joe. I'm going to show you an example of the template. This will be the template that we're doing. The template says I have to fill what is my native language. What I want to do, if I want to help others with to learn Spanish, and if I want to learn a new languages, what language I would love to learn, what is my country, and then I set up what times I have available for the appointments of the week. This will allow the DAC custodians or the DAC leader to make this, to help these members to set appointments. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Lucas. Yeah, so any questions from our group here? Anybody have questions? We got some time here. Someone's gargling. Clear their throat here. Yeah, let me see. So let me see. So I like that you have a specific kind of amount in mind. It kind of puts it clear. So I feel like, okay, if I want to use this product, it's a couple of EOS, you know, for conversation, which is great. Like I can already say, okay, yeah, I'd probably do this just because, you know, I want to learn, let's say, Spanish and Chinese are a couple languages, right? So now I know exactly, and I feel like, okay, yeah, I know exactly what I need to do, and so I feel like I want to participate. So yeah, I mean, I guess my question would be like in terms of implementation, you know, what are you looking at in terms of implementation of this project? Is there?
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
that as a program, I want to be able to implement in any community or group. So if the group is in Telegram, they can implement there. If the group is in Facebook, they can implement there. I want to be very open for everybody could copy the program and start to use in their community with their friends, or get new friends by doing this. Maybe we are only a Spanish group, and we want somebody come from outside, and we can have this crypto speaker that is going to have the reward. So the people is not looking like they're doing for free. They're gaining the tokens on that DAC because they're getting paid to do this. They need the problem is the lack of motivation, because you are going to start to repeat something until other person learn that sentence, and that's usually something that we don't do daily. We are not training other people into our language, or we're not uh, helping to fix the pronunciation of other people regularly, because that's not how we do it. So we have this lack of motivation because we don't see a purpose there. Plus, than usually most of the people already talking our language. So it's more easy for us. For example, here in Costa Rica, if a North American come, it's more easy for us to talk to you in English because we already know, than answer or listen to your Spanish that maybe you don't know pronounce it right, and it's going to be more hard to maybe make a trade or do something day to day. That's happened, and already I make a survey of several friends, and that's something that already happened here. I have friends that come from the United States, and they try to speak in Spanish, and the people is just like, yeah, say it in English. We already know English. So at the end of the day, you are supposed to have experience, but you don't have that full experience, because you're facing in the, let's say you are also that you're at tourism, you're in tourist areas. Most of the people already speak your language there. So this will create is the language barrier, and the people wants to learn a new language, and they don't have the opportunity. They think that they have the opportunity. At the end of the day, they don't have it. They don't do it because everybody lacks the motivations, or it's too hard. The people don't want to become a teacher. So that's the reason. And I don't want to use the word teacher. We use script speakers. That is a helper.
All right, thanks a lot, Lucas. Any other questions there? Okay, so yeah, thanks a lot, Lucas. Two very
Thank you.
different types of projects, and I think it's great to see kind of the variety that you kind of were able to come up with. So, so the next one we have is John Heater with DeFi Dash.
Hey, June. Sure. 1 second.
How's it going, John? Just let me know. Let me see. I could pin you too here, or maybe Max can pin you. All right.
Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, it looks good.
This is an account I'm gonna do. Okay. So basically, what I built is called the DeFi dashboard, and the problem that I'm solving here is that if you're trying to track your profit and loss and your fees paid and things on these new kind of decentralized exchanges, There's really not many tools out there to track that information. You can go like on a block explorer and try and parse the data yourself, but it's pretty difficult. And if you wanted to get kind of more insight into it, for example, like you wanted to calculate, how much fees did I pay, in this specific week or this specific month, or track your kind of inputs and outputs, it's nearly impossible with the kind of existing tools out there. So what I built is a dashboard and a server, and basically you can see the server over here on the right. It's downloading data. It's like streaming the transaction data from EOS Nation Defuse and storing it on the server. So I have a full copy of transactions that have to do with the DeFi exchanges like DeFi Swap and Nudex. So on the website, you can just put in the name of a EOS account here, and then the way it's set up right now is by default, it just finds like the last 100 transactions. And my server's not done syncing, so it's only got transactions in August. But you can see here it's added up, the fees that were paid, how much was sent, and how much was received. And with this data, you can calculate all kinds of metrics. And it's trivial to take this data and sort it by date and go in depth into it, since all the data is on a custom database basically. And I think that going into tax season, that this is a potential platform that could be monetized. People would pay to get this data. And also I'm actually downloading all the data, so I could, for example, calculate, how much fees were paid in total on this day on DeFi Box or Nudex, for example. And those are kind of big level analytics that could be used by large scale traders to plan out their strategies. So yeah, that's it.
All right. Thanks a lot, John. Yeah, it's great to see this actually in action here, and the actual kind of interface and everything that you've kind of already have set up. So any questions, guys?
Yeah, I got a couple questions. Yeah, this is awesome. It's so concise and definitely provides a ton of value to the communities that are getting into this. Yeah, I think my first question, so there's all these like swaps coming about. There's like hamburger, dolphin, all these these different animal and fruit or food group swap exchanges. How easy it is for you to add additional exchanges as they come up, or not exchanges, but additional swap tools or products. And I think that's one of them, one of the questions. There's another one. Yeah, what about determining, like the value of those liquidity pool assets? Have you thought about how that will look in the interface? Oh man, I have so many other questions, but those are the two main ones.
Sure. Yeah, so basically, like, I can define a query that'll return, whatever kind of transactions that I want from Defuse. And so, for example, these are the queries that I have defined so far. So this is like every DeFi Box token transaction, every Boyd token transaction, every DeFi Box swap log action, which is like every time someone makes a swap, I have that. Every time someone claims their profits from staking DeFi Box, I have that. So you can see it's just like a single line to support, these different actions, to at least grab them. And then once you've grabbed them, it's a matter of collating them and aggregating them into, useful insights, which is a little more work, but if you understand what you're looking at, it's not too bad. So yeah, I don't think it'd be that difficult to add sport. Like I have Nudex trade records in here as well. I just haven't built a UI to display that data, you know. So it's yeah, it's really not too difficult to extend. And in terms of so yeah, right now I have data on, like, I have the fee you paid and I have the price you paid. But yeah, I don't have, like, for example, what was the USD value of EOS on that day? I don't have that in my API, but that's probably a good next step, is to pull that data from, like, CoinGecko has a really good API for doing those kinds of things. So I could, like, pull in historical USD values and display that alongside and use that for calculating the amount spent and the amount received and things like that. So
is that those are both your questions, Max?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Okay.
What else? Oh yeah, so this is a ton of data. Is it can you see it getting like super expensive to run the server, or yeah, I guess it's more of a comment. It just seems like this would get really pricey to constantly be streaming in this data, especially when all those Ethereum folks come over.
I don't think it's going to be that bad, but we'll see. I mean, the server I have now is just like, it's $20 a month, and it's enough data for, it should be enough data for like another year worth of transactions, as far as I can tell. So, and I could probably even run it on a cheaper server once it's done synchronizing. It's it's okay because I'm not grabbing like all the IDOS transactions, for example. So you just have to kind of be careful about what kind of data you want. And if it gets to the point where it's too expensive to grab all the data, I can target specific accounts. So like, you know, over here, I can say, see, like right here, I'm grabbing EOS token transfers, but I'm only grabbing them when they come from this account. So I can target specific accounts and just grab data from specific accounts. So, you know, like when you come to the website and put in your account name, I could basically programmatically make one of these queries and just grab the data for your account. And yeah, if it runs into like price scalability issues, then I'll probably implement something like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I even think as a like a pay per query thing, people would do that just to get some insights on their account.
Yeah, exactly. I think that, yeah, I think I thought it would be fun to have like where you could log in and pay with fiat like you would expect, but also have NFTs that are floating around, where if you hold the NFT in your account, then it gives you access to view the full history of a certain number of accounts. And you know, those NFTs could be traded, and basically you would just hold it in your account and log in on the website, and I would detect that it was there and then unlock that functionality. So that'd be an interesting kind of secondary market.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember we were having all these scammers come on into the KROWN community, and like I want to do language translation. So all these people want to do language translation. It turns out it was only a few people, but they went to like such great lengths to basically game the system. And like, oh yeah, here's my Facebook, I'll send you a message from there. They would just like buy a Facebook account in some other country. Anyway, to figure out that they were really the same person, we had to go back in old transactions and look at the memos. And it was really hard. Like you couldn't just search all the memos on EOS. It's like too much data. And you can do it with Defuse. But you know, I'm like, man, I would have paid like on that day. I'm like, I don't want to spend hours looking through these transactions. Like this is ridiculous. But just, you know, I would have probably paid like $10 for one query just to search a memo, you know.
Oh, that's an interesting idea, like an on-demand custom query. like an interface, like, because what you're describing, you probably, yeah, you can't index all transactions. It's just too much data. But if you were like, I want to see all transactions that went to this account or from this account, and I want to sort them by their memo or something, it wouldn't be that hard to, you know, to do that query, you know, from a technical standpoint. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
like,
good idea.
yeah, when you're on like blocks, you can like search the memo, but if you just like, you know, there isn't like a greater search for like all the same memo. Like, what are all the ones that went into Binance with the same memo? You know, and it's just not possible to do that.
Yeah, I
right
think
now.
it's not like when you do a memo search on blocks, it's actually just searching like the ones that it's already downloaded. So you're only looking at like, you know, the last 10 or whatever that are on there. To actually search the whole blockchain, it's a lot more work.
Yeah, you know, it seems as though, you know, this DeFi dashboard is almost can be, you know, even a broader dashboard where, you know, I always think, okay, you have crypto and all these tokens and no one really knows the status of any of these. So once you have the APIs that come in, your dashboard is like, you know, can calculate your overall portfolio kind of analytics returns over month or the last 3 months or a year, and you can kind of get that kind of and then all the DeFi activity if you're kind of more of the power user. But that's seems like a very kind of convenient tool that, you know, it seems, you know, there's not even in like Ethereum many, I don't know if there's tools that where you can kind of track that easily, but it seems as though at least you could do this kind of this is a natural fit for just a dashboard for tracking any of your crypto, right? Too, it seems.
Yeah, I've never. Well, what other kinds of? That's a good question. Could you give me an example of something that's not DeFi related that you would like to track?
Well, it's just that you know, all your tokens. You know, let's say this list here. You know, Boy, TPT, Vig. You know, just you probably need an API specific to that. I don't know if CoinGecko is the best for that, but let's just say those tokens, right? Like you have a, you know, a lot of wallets have a variety of different tokens. So that's a entire portfolio, right? That if you could track month over month or, you know, past year, it seems natural that people will want to know if they're kind of doing any kind of trades in between any of those, that there's a tool for that to be to track that very easily. And then, you know, your DeFi income. So you have that, your regular portfolio, and then your DeFi income where, you know, you're doing additional activities to try to earn more in on your portfolio, right? So,
Right.
So, but yeah, I feel like, you know, I could visualize something that's very like just instinctually people will want, you know. So
Yeah, I just want to add another comment. Shapeshift, when it was really awesome before the KYC stuff they had to implement, they had a beta project called Prism, and they were like, oh man, I don't even know how many years ago, like 4 years ago, this must have been around. But essentially, you could see all these different, like the interface is really cool because you see all these different like recipes for different percentages of crypto to buy. And then you could see like the earnings of each of those users that had their tokens split up that way. And you could literally like send your tokens into a service that would like split them up into that into those percentages. So you're like, oh yeah, this person's getting like 33% return, and then you could. It was really cool. You just send it to one address or use the shapeshift function, and it sends you back a bunch of different tokens in that same ratio as that person. So it had like kind of like a leaderboard of like who are the most successful profiting individuals using that platform. But I think, yeah, something like this would be awesome. Like over time, you're like, oh yeah, like, you know, this is how this person, like these are the steps they did to get this percentage, or like, you know, these are the, yeah, just getting a little more engagement rather than just having it just a reporting function, being able to say, oh yeah, do you want to like reallocate your resources? I think on that site too, you could like move like sliders and adjust the bar graph to show you what percentage of tokens you know, it would send you back. so you could get different ratios back as well. But yeah, I think updating that with the DeFi premise would be really cool as well.
Yeah, that's sounds like a good service you could like upsell to users on this dashboard.
Yeah, great job, John. Really, excited to see where this goes here. So, awesome. So I guess we got one last presentation, and then if people have any others, kind of at the end of the program, we can people stick around here. So I think we got our last one from Jeff, and the project is called Endow, I think, if I'm pronouncing that one.
Jeff had to take off, or I know he's traveling, so I don't think he can present it.
Oh, okay.
But I think we can review it on the link. So I posted the link. It's on the submission spreadsheet, but also on the poll too. So we could all take a look at that and go through it.
Okay, so it's the link, and it's endaow.io. So it's endaow.io, and feel free to check that out. And I think, there's no, it doesn't link to anything yet, as I see it. Do you guys get anything on the website? So, okay. So yeah, I don't see anything online yet. So we'll follow up. Maybe you guys can follow up and check out that website. Maybe later in the day it'll be up with a presentation, or at least a website talking about the project. So I think that's about it. Really appreciate everyone that kind of presented here today. A lot of exciting, well done with all the presentations. It's such a variety of different projects, and it's great presentations. I mean, it was very clear. I understood kind of everything that you guys were kind of building, communicating in terms of the ideas. And so a great job, everybody. Any final questions? We can just, they're still here. John's here, Lucas, Dwayne, Max. Any questions?
Yeah. Oh, just really quick. I want to go over the prize pool and then voting.
Okay.
So here, let me see if I can share the screen. Just to go over the prize. Just one moment, please. So this is the DACathon prize tables, and I just posted a message in DACathon and also MetaDAC, so you can see get a link to this as well. Here are total contributions. Almost 100 EOS, which is pretty good. I'm very happy with that. Some 60,000 vigor, VIG, 50 VIG. That's awesome. And then we're expecting 20,000 KROWN from the KROWN DAC. Waiting for some custodians to finish signing those. From our MetaDAC community, 25,000 DAC tokens, and the same distribution as last time. So first place 50%, second place 30%, third place 10%, 5%, 5%. Definitely check these numbers over. I think I did the formulas correctly. Oh wait, Jeff is coming back in. I just saw his message pop up, so maybe we get him to present. But we got so here are the break off. First place almost 50 EOS. 10,000 KROWN, 12,500 VIG, DAC, 30,000 VIG, vigor, and then 25 VIG. So this is the prize table, and then I'll go over voting real quick.
Hey, Max, also Vlad sent a message and said there's going to be govern tokens as well. So thanks so much.
Awesome. Okay, so I'll add those in there. That's awesome. Thanks, Vlad.
So cool. Yeah, thanks to Vlad from Consortium. Thanks, Vigor Community, Jose, and I think Andreas.
Nice. So yeah,
one was in the suite. change the name of big for bigger. Bigger is the dollar. It's está cambiado.
Oh, wait, what was that? Sorry, I missed what you were saying.
Change the name 60,000 bigger is big in this Excel.
Which one's which?
Bigger is big in this row.
Bigger is big? Is
Yeah.
this backwards or?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's backwards.
Okay.
All right. Thanks so much, Vigor community, KROWN community, and consortium.
Is this right up here, guys? Let's see.
I think that has to be reversed too.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, thanks for that. I'm glad we we went over that. And then I'll add the govern here. Awesome, and I'll get that filled out when we're done here. And yeah, did I saw Jeff hop back in? Do you feel like presenting, Jeff? Jeff, you're muted if you're trying to talk. Can't hear you.
Hey, Jeff, are you there? Here's some music in the background.
Yeah, it sounds like some live music. Here, I'll go over how to vote real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, so I posted that as a post in DACathon and MetaDAC. Here, I'll share with you. I feel like most of you have gone through and used a DAC client, but just for reference. So up here, make sure you've signed the Constitution, and we probably should update this at some point, but it's somewhat required to stake your tokens. And then you're going to go to manage candidateship, and here you're going to make sure you stake 100 tokens for voting. And you click the plus button, click your stake. And I had to refresh it after I signed the transaction to have it update. So I don't think it updates on the fly, so you'll want to do that. And then you'll go to the consortium link and vote for your favorite project. And yeah, in this voting process, you just get to vote once. And I think it says you'll need it, how much you need to stake. So you just stake your 100 tokens. And you can see up here, my voting power is 100 DAC. But yeah, if you have any questions, let us know. If you have any problems, let us know. We'll help you out. Yeah, this is really awesome to see consortium go from kind of like the ideation phase in the first MetaDAC DACathon to where it's at now. It's really, really awesome. So thanks again, Vlad, for making such an awesome tool for all these different communities.
All right. Thanks a lot, Max.
Just really quick. Yeah, Vlad, did you want to say anything about a consortium or any updates there?
Updates regarding consortium.
Oh yeah. Just wondering if you wanted to say anything else about consortium or any updates or anything that's coming to it, or just whatever you want to say.
No, we're also thinking to have a proper DAC. That is something that's gonna be next on our to-do list, so to say. And we're still thinking whether to use DAClify or to use EOS DAC Factory, but seems that DAC Factory it will be. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, if you need custodians, let us know.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks again.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Vlad. Really a great tool to use for our hackathon and voting. So so everyone gets to stake 100 DACTAC tokens and they can vote. For this one, there's one poll, so you just select one, and your 100 tokens will vote for that. Unfortunately, we won't be able to split that up this time around, but it simplifies things. So it's just, you know, just pick your favorite project here. So Jeff, are you available?
Yeah,
Jeff?
can you hear me now?
Okay, great. So
okay,
yeah,
sorry, I was on the road here, so hang on a second here.
So you'll have about 10 minutes. I have a timer, and then 5 minutes for any questions.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I basically, I didn't really have a chance to work with anybody on this. I just kind of was thinking about it the other day when I was thinking about how to finance various projects, how to manage them and stuff. And it just seemed like this might be a good opportunity just to throw it out there. But how I originally got into this,
So we'll get, hey Jeff, so this is your official presentation. It could be informal, but I'm gonna just start the timer just as a FYI. So
okay.
All right. So go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, I'm just gonna read this, brief intro that I came up with here. Okay. So my idea, basically, I'm just calling it ENDAO right now. Basically, it'd be ENDAOW.io is the domain I just picked up for just a placeholder for now. But basically, the background is establishing endowments for management budgets have been part of the sustainable development process for facilitating decentralization for both government and non-governmental organizations around the world for decades. To establish a DAO to facilitate creation and management of such funds would be a great value to both the crypto and traditional fiat-based systems. Such a DAO may be considered a foundation. Such a foundation could help finance and manage projects and program development of almost any scale around the world, including dApps, get organizations started, help like grant process, basically, and automate the processes of running a foundation, many of them, would obviously be multifaceted, but I think, that it could be started out in small scale. And such a foundation might also be able to facilitate planned giving as a way for individuals to pass on money to their heirs, avoiding the heir getting taxed while letting the charitable institution to be able to utilize the interest generated from planned giving processes. So my model where I kind of became familiar with this was actually in Costa Rica as well. And the conservation area I was working with had set up a management endowment. This guy took his Kyoto Prize, equivalent of the Nobel Peace Prize for ecology and science, and he got it match fund, put match funds together, and through how much they set up, that they were able to manage all the scientific projects of this center headquarters for scientific investigation, and off the interest from a fund, essentially. Later on, they used a similar model for it's called the Guanacaste Conservation Dry Forest Fund, and they took contributions to buy land off the market. That was later, it was held aside until the management plan was all put together through another endowment fund, and then they once the management plan was together, they annexed it to the conservation area itself in Costa Rica. And so anyhow, I just thought that it's kind of like like it'd be a process, like I said, ranging from small projects to trying to get a grant to do something worthwhile for any community, to start an organization that if there was decentralized organization to run the processes of some of the processes, that it might be worth doing. But obviously, it's going to need a lot more thought and people that know a lot more about finances and all this stuff than I do. So that's basically it.
All right, thanks a lot, Jeff. Any questions from anybody about the Endow project? I like the name. I mean, it's so you have the DAO in there, and it's, you know, if people, you know what, or at least have heard of what, you know, endowments and foundation. So it's kind of cool that you kind of yeah, found a good name for that.
Yeah.
So
Well, you know, the actual term, like endow spelled out normally, .io was like $7,000. So you know, endowment.io was like, yeah, who knows? But yeah, I just popped in my head the other day. I'm like, wow, that just the name itself, it works. And you know, everything I've ever wanted to do to get started, you know, like, yeah, it's been, you know, mission oriented projects kind of, you know, are sort of in that grant level, foundation level, unless you have private funding to do it. And this would be kind of you know, a juxtaposition of both worlds, you know. So I can see how it could work, you know, is like kind of like a crowdfunding method, you know, a method for writing grant proposals to do any projects where you don't necessarily have to be a scientific person or have a, you know, your own nonprofit. It could be, you know, you could be doing a for-profit project and get grant, you know, funded, or, you know, people could stake funds, put it, you know, put the funds aside, and then if they don't get used and the person doesn't fulfill their statement of work proposal or whatever they're doing, that the money will go back to the main endowment or back to the funders if it, you know, however it works out.
thanks, Jeff. Any other questions from anybody out there? Yeah, so what do you see as the first target for implementing this in terms of any particular, you know, maybe an actual, I guess if you're looking grants first, right? So if you're looking at any grant programs that come to mind that would be ideal for this project, or any types of projects.
Oh, you mean like a case study?
Yeah, just like who do you think, if you were to implement this project, which like, you know, which category of grants or organizations will you be looking for, and what kind of projects you think are good first use cases for this?
Well, I mean, I could see it working in a lot of different ways, but let's just say just for trying to fund the development of a DApp, for example, you know, if you know, be able to put it in proposal stage, like you're trying to apply for a grant, you know, or I mean, I don't know, basically, that, you know, the organization would have to be set up first, you know, that'd be the first step, you know, just to actually establish the structure of a foundation and how it would operate. You'd have to have board of directors, you know, there'd be other groups for different kind of things, you know, depending on the need. But maybe the need would be triggered on, I mean, you know, the structure would be triggered by requests coming from the user group of what they need, you know, so that the organization could be scalable and come and go, you know, as far as extra people to be participating, you know, in like a board of directors if needed, or technological services needed or whatever. But yeah, funding DApp development would be one thing. Conservation projects, you know, conservation easements could be put into it. But basically, instead of it's kind of like a staking model that if you need a certain amount of a management budget, that and enough people, you know, if the community was interested, that they could stake the money, and then you'd manage it off the interest that's staked. essentially. And then if the project doesn't get fulfilled, then the money goes back to the people that put it up, you know. So it's a kind of a lossless process, as long as people follow through with whatever they're trying to do. You know, as far as the organization itself would ideally would figure out how much it would take to set up a DAC and how much it would take to operate it at the basic level, and set up an endowment, a fund, you know, that there'd be enough interest to manage it just off of that. So it'd be running essentially off as an endowment itself. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Are you somehow thinking that it'll somehow integrate with traditional organizations right now? Because, you know, you have tax, like you mentioned, some tax benefits for just setting up endowments in general, right?
Right. That's one of one of the main income streams for universities and big foundations is planned giving. And so someone will say, hey, I want to give let's say $5 million to my kids. They put it in a fund for 3 to 6 years or something like that. And the organization generates however much interest they do, like say 5 to 6% over the course, you know, of that time. And then all the money at that point goes to the kids and they don't have to pay taxes on it. You know, that's like the planned giving model.
Yeah, I think that's a great kind of option. And, you know, with nonprofits and the nonprofits in general, really the transparency is really a big factor in why blockchain is such a great technology for nonprofits, because really there is not a lot of transparency, or as much as there should be in nonprofits, and people are always surprised to see how much how little of the money that is contributed actually go to the actual project that this nonprofit is supposed to be giving to. So just to have that transparency, the technology that you know, really you know, tracks the flows, you know, precisely where the money goes is just a natural, I think, a feature of DACs that are very powerful, and I think sometimes overlooked. Just accounting transparency, and so I think it's a natural use case for sure. So any final questions for Jeff from you guys? So. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Yeah, really appreciate it. Please vote for your projects at the link. We'll put it on Telegram, but the link's also in the chat window. And again, Jeff, I don't know if you were here, but you just, you know, you could go ahead and stake 100 tokens on your at MetaDAC at the MetaDAC website. And feel free to reach out to Max. He'll probably know the best. But once you stake that, you can go ahead to the consortium link and vote for projects. So, you know, everyone has 100 DACTAC tokens that they can stake to vote, and you know, we'll have up until, I believe, the 18th, right, to vote.
Yeah, it goes for 7 days, and then as soon as those that poll closes, then we'll send out the prizes through work proposals. So no one has control of the funds. Well, technically, I still have the owner key just in case things got weird, but we'll be sending out the prizes through work proposals. So as soon as that goes through, we'll sign those, and you guys will get your prizes.
All right, awesome. Also,
so are participants supposed to vote as well, or just judges?
Whoever has tokens.
Yeah, so we're keeping it open, so you can vote for yourself.
Okay.
And yeah, everyone has we're kind of making it allowing everyone to kind of vote and participate. So yeah, and let others know who have DACTAC tokens to know that this voting is going on for the week. And so if they have, you know, DACTAC tokens, they can vote on it. presentations, we should put presentations in maybe on the website, Max. Just maybe this video, but just cut out all the extra stuff, and maybe you could leave the voting directions in the video as well. But just a video where people can just go ahead and watch just the presentations.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll label that on YouTube and link to it stuff as well.
Are the links going to be on there?
Yeah, we'll put them on there, and they're
Okay.
on the
Yeah, I
post.
didn't even get to update my link. I just bought the domain. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
That's commitment.
Yeah. So the first step, buying the domain, right, of a
Right.
project. So, and then Lisa also has the DAC Rectory Telegram group. So please join that if you haven't already. And Lisa, I don't know if you have any updates on the DAC Rectory project. Feel free to say a few words. Yeah.
I'll just mention, actually, during our discussion at the beginning of DACathon, we talked a little bit about the concept of a DAC, basically a directory of people involved in the DAC community in case we had questions or problems we're trying to solve or wanted to offer skills in a certain way or just have discussion in general. And some of the discussion included, maybe it's not necessary to have a public directory at this point. And during the discussion, Max went ahead and set up the Telegram group and started posting things like, problems or whatever topic people might want to reply to post what their problem is or opportunities. So feel free, anyone in the DAC community or interested in the DAC community, come on over to the Telegram group DAC Rectory and join and, post what you need and what you might want to offer or any other questions for discussion. And let's just see how it goes between now and the next DACathon.
Awesome. Yeah. I think that'll be a great resource. So check out the Telegram group. It's DAC Rectory, says DACRECTORY. And yeah, look forward to kind of the growth of that. I think it's going to be very useful and be a significant resource. So, all right. Yeah, great job. I think this was very smooth. I think I enjoyed the presentations, and yeah, good luck everybody. This would be great to see kind of how the voting happens over the week, and that's about it. Any last words from you guys? All right. So see you guys online on Telegram, and yeah, thanks so much for participating in this event here. You guys made it made this a great event here with everyone kind of contributing everything they could here. And Jason, I didn't see Jason all day here, but thanks Jason for dropping in.
Yeah, I've been listening, and I appreciate the presentations. I've been just with the video off.
Okay.
Thank you all, guys. I'm looking forward to this.
All right, sounds good, and we'll try to reconnect sometime, soon. So, but thanks so much. This is great, and please vote and support your projects here, and hopefully this will come. A few of these projects will become a reality. So. All right. Sounds good, guys.
Thank you very much.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thanks, everybody. See you online.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, June.
All right.